Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for having me today and just sharing my views here. Okay, let's start with a quick intro. Myself, I'm Simranjeet Kaur. I work at Econommi as CTO. I first moved to Canada in 2019, finished my studies, and then started working for Econommi in 2020, and this just worked my way up. And it's how it is working at a startup. You're just freaking out every day, but it's been pretty fun. Like it's great. And talking about economy, that brings me to today's topic, that is future of equity sharing models. So the reason I'm sharing about equity sharing models is because I think they serve as a very good alternative to traditional financial systems, and not many people know about this. But I would really like to bring it out and share about this with more people so that they can benefit from it too. So let's start with the outline today. So we will discuss what equity sharing models are and how is it related to economy and how we use those models at economy, and also how these models, how we make it work, and how we do everything we do at economy. So let's move into equity sharing models. Okay, equity sharing models are a financial system where a bunch of people come together and invest in an asset. For example, you can say like a group of 10 people, they come together, they put some money and they buy a house together. So they have like this, they each of the person have ownership in that asset. So this way they can reduce the risk as well as share any earnings they earn from that asset as well. And the reason that equity sharing models are pretty good and their advantages are basically, first, they are sustainable. They are a good alternative to debt-based financial systems because they really helps to reduce the interest burden. Second, it's innovative because if you are investing in a group and you're 10 people, you get to share the risk as well as the earnings. And third, it's more inclusive. Like if you have to invest in assets, you don't need a big amount of capital. You can easily start with small capital as well. And there are many platforms today like who actually use equity sharing models. One of them is Addy. So what they do is they do the same thing for houses, and then there is Manzil, and then there is Gopier, and then there is Economy. So we do the same thing for cars. Let's talk about what is economy. Before talking about economy, to really know what economy is, let me share the story of economy. So we first started in 2019. We were a peer-to-peer car rentals company, and then COVID hit, and we really struggled at that time. So our founders, they needed to refinance all the assets they had, so they went to like bunch of places and asked if they could ask for refinancing. But all the places offered them 30% interest rates. I mean, 30% interest rate. Are you kidding me? Like that's crazy. So at that point of time, they were just like about to give up and shut down the company. And but at that time, a customer came along, and he asked them like if he was facing the same problem at that time. So he asked them if he could rent a car and then for some time and then collect money to actually buy it out. So that led our founder to actually come up with very innovative approach. So what they did, they hit up some of their friends and asked them like, there is this customer who wants to buy this car. Would you like to finance it? So a group of 10 friends, they came together, and they helped to finance this car. And this is how how economy had their first lease. And today we have a total 1.2 million in assets, and it's working great. And we our models are basically flat fee and debt free, so that really helps all the customers which are either immigrants or they are students, because they don't really have a very long credit history, and they usually get high interest rates when you're looking for financing for cars or like other assets. So they can easily come to economy, and we can provide them with better models which are within through which they can quickly build equity, and they can easily pay it off as well. And when it comes to these kind of models, the equity sharing models, like these models are usually data driven. So like the basic focus is like everything works around data, because it helps to predict the future trends and also helps us making decisions. So that brings me to the process that we do use at Econommy to make everything work and everything running. So I'll share some key points and then describe them how we actually use data to do whatever we do. So first comes to our data warehouse. How do we actually organize data and just store it? Because you see, our platform has two sides: one leasing side and one investor side. So we have like a lot of different kinds of data, but they're all connected to each other with one way or another. So something that we use is relational database management systems. When you think about it, relational database management systems, they are pretty simple, but like they're very powerful tool when it comes to organizing information. First of all, they're very simple, and then you can easily connect data through columns and you can work with it. And they actually make it very easier to retrieve information and work with it. And plus, they offer you can also use queries to retrieve data to predict customer behaviors and use it for like future decision making. So they are very efficient system to organize complex information. And I believe if the data organization is very important step to actually when it comes to working with data, because it lays like a solid foundation on which you can build and which we can work on top of it. So once we organize the data, we analyze it. We analyze it through a bot, internal bot. He's called Cabe. So he's like an a small AI that runs every time a new deal comes in. So what it does, it takes that deal's data, compares it with the existing data, and then differentiates it as a good deal or a bad deal. And that's how we make our decisions, like in approving deals or declining deals. And also the other methods that we use to analyze data is, as I said earlier, we use queries to retrieve data from databases and then visualize it through graphs. That really helps us to predict customer behavior, as in like which customer buys cheaper assets, which customer buys based on ROIs, or which customer buys based on how much monthly return they are getting. So that really helps us to like figure out, like change things around on the front end as well. So to have better analysis of data, you also need that the data is continuously updated and then it doesn't have errors. So something that we're really proud of at Economy is our accounting system. So it is the system that runs in sync with our database. So it continuously matches the information between both the systems and finds out any discrepancies or anything that is out of order. We try to use many third party apps for keeping track of all our monthly payments, but nothing worked for us. So eventually we came up with this system. So the system like keep us on check about the monthly payments of all the cars that we have. And also in addition to that, on our platform we have this same arcade that runs on our platform. What it does a continuous reinvesting. So it takes extra money that is lying around on people's wallets. It takes that and buys tokens for them. So it's like they don't need to actually manage their account, it manages for them. So sometimes, like machines can or AI can make mistakes as well. So this system actually helps to oversight that AI. And plus it's like continuous monitoring of your data, and it like every 24 hours it runs and then sends us notifications if there are any missing information or like there are any errors. So especially when you have systems like this, and like we are managing so much data when it comes to like concerns like privacy and security. And like how do we make all the data secure? Because when you have so many sides to your business like leasing or investing, there is a chance that some people might have access to the information that they're not supposed to have. So what we do is, we use some endpoint security. So we like, first of all, like better organization really helps in that. As I said, it really helps to retrieve data in an orderly manner and then presented on the front end. So what we do is, we have this app where a customer, if it does their leasing application, so in that application, in that app, they can upload all their personal information, and the dealerships don't have access to it. That really helps to protect the lessee's personal information as well. So that is one of the examples of endpoint security. In addition to that, we have encryption protocols, and then we have some access controls. So where like we have our internal apps as well, where we manage customers' information. So we make sure that nobody has access to it unless they're actually are supposed to have access to that information. So here we can see like data has a very big role to play when it comes to fintech companies, because that's like if it's compromised, it is not a very good. It's not. It doesn't look good for the company's image as well. And I think like these equity sharing models, they are basically, the future of them is data driven and it's distributed, and these models really enable us to shape more inclusive, sustainable, and innovative financial ecosystems. And through these ecosystems, like so many people can benefit. And I hope like one day people realize the value of these models and their advantages as well. Yeah, that's it.